What's going on, y'all? Yeah, this is a Reforge video that I had to do because I had a feeling that, this is my thing. Is like I did a video recently too about some guy coping and other people as well. Because it's about people thinking that Microsoft is going to show up to the Nintendo Direct, which I don't understand why they wouldn't go to the two, right? And nobody expected Sony to show up, which I find funny. Not only did they show up once, but they showed up with multiple IPs that used to be PlayStation exclusives that are now on the Switch. And we saw Horizon get put on there too. And I just gave you the idea. And I don't get why people can't accept this simple reality that Sony is third party and they're going to be even more third party in the coming years than they ever have been. And it's okay, it's fine. PlayStation's not going to die because of that. Gaming's not going to get hurt. Gaming will benefit more. The only one that is not going third party because they don't have to, and because if Microsoft and PlayStation had the power that they had in house, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. Yes, we know this, but the point is that that's not what's going on, though. We need to face reality here, definitely as men. A man should be able to face reality and accept the truth. Like all this coping, getting in, you feel like you guys are acting like females now. Like, why are you acting so feminine? Where's your masculinity at? Learn to accept natural things. So we have in this video, as always, people just making excuses for Sony and trying to make it seem like Microsoft is full third party, Sony's okay, they're not really third party. It's like, let's get out of here. So let's get into this. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all, let's go.
Xbox channels will eat that up. I mean, I guess. I don't think that there's anything to it. Like, PlayStation has basically made it clear they are okay taking older IP or older games or games that they feel like fit with Nintendo and putting them either on Nintendo or putting games on PC. I don't see that as what we've been dealing with lately. I think is people don't understand what equivalency means, right?
It doesn't need to be equivalent to what Microsoft is doing, but the point is that this still counts as third party.
They do not understand what equivalency means. It's like if you go to the gym every day and you're like a health nut, and I go on a walk once an evening and you're like, yeah, looks like Lono's turned into a real health nut. No, we are not the same. we are not the same.
Okay, so Sony's casually third party and Microsoft's full blown third party. It's still third party. That's not the same comparison. You know how many times they've put in their games on PC and watch how many games go to the Switch too. At the end of the day, stop trying to make it seem like because Microsoft is going full blast on PC day one, right? And they're putting games on PlayStation, they're putting games on Switch 2, and now Sony's putting games on PC and putting games on Switch 2. Like they're not both third party. Yeah, they're not equally outputting the same third party amount. That's what you could just say. But at the end of the day, this does not mean that Sony is like, oh, they're just this amount of third party. Like, no, bro, they're still have to do third party. It cannot be only on PlayStation anymore. It doesn't work. And even when I do that, it's all time. It all has a time limit on it. Okay? So you could say Sony is not as heavy into third party investment as Microsoft, but they're still both third party at the end of the day.
Okay? Putting all your titles day and date on PC, and then starting to put your titles on PlayStation, and then putting your titles on PlayStation day and date, that's going third party. Like, Xbox is turning into a third party publisher, okay? Putting some of your older titles, or titles that have been out for a while, and porting them to PC, or putting titles like the Lego Horizon game, or the Patapon or the golf game on Nintendo, that is not equivalent to what Xbox is doing. It isn't. It's like they haven't signaled to their shareholders that they're going to do it, and that's how we knew Xbox was going to do it. People don't understand what equivalency is. It's a false...
But the argument was never about that. Equivalency? Like, really? This is what he wants to try to use to justify what Microsoft is doing compared to Sony, but it's like, it's okay if Sony's more third party than they've ever have been. That's a true statement. More than ever, Sony's not going to be third party because it's not just looking at the PC, but it's looking at the Switch 2. And Microsoft is looking at PC, Switch 2, and PlayStation. It's okay, man. Now Sony is not just third party for PC, but they're going to be third party for the Nintendo Switch 2. And Microsoft may put more games compared to Sony, But at the end of the day, they both look at PC and they both look at the Switch platform, and they're not staying only in their ecosystem. This is just the thing that we're trying to say. You're trying to make it seem like, oh no, Sony's not really third party, fully third party. Microsoft is going fully third party because they're putting more games out, and the equivalency is not the same. I wonder if we really needed to figure that out. Yeah, obviously Sony's not doing day and day one for all PlayStation games on PC. They don't have to. Microsoft does. We face reality over here. Nintendo is not doing anything. Just like PC. No, you're all coming to me. And I have weaker tech than you, and I'm still going to outsell you, and you're all putting yourself over here. And you can take it out on the go. The game is that it's not a graphics game we're seeing here. Mm-mm. We know this now, right? Does everybody figure that out? You know, because the Switch 2 is about to win again. Um, it's not about graphics. Just like the more powerful PlayStation handheld never beat the weaker tech Nintendo console. It's not about specs. Video games were never about that. It's something that's more analyzed now. We look at these type of things more now. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not what's going to get you in first place, and it's not what's going to win. As a matter of fact, gaming is so good on all platforms now that it doesn't matter what platform you choose, you're going to be enriched with a lot of games. It didn't used to be that way in the 360 and the eras before that. I mean, it was, but you kind of get what I mean. Now it's like you're overwhelmed on all platforms. Even we want to include PC as a gaming platform from the PC gaming perspective, because PC is a lot more than that. You know what I mean? It's not sold on a market to where it's like, this is specifically going to count as a PC sale. So there was 70 million gaming laptop sales. I mean, no, that doesn't exist. Here's first party developers for that. You know what I mean? No, Valve was the only kind of thing like that, but it still counts when it comes to profit, revenue, and, you know, boosting community, cross-playing, all that. Like, all this is just better now. Like, you see a more unified sense. And people just have to embrace the more unified mindset compared to back then when that wasn't really what it was about. So I don't get the big deal about just admitting that Sony is third party. Like, why does this have to be a big deal? It's just fanboying.
Such a false equivalency. The minute that PlayStation starts telling their shareholders, yeah, we're going to start putting our property on platforms that we considered competitors formerly, then you could say, yep, they're turned into a third-party publisher. That's literally what Xbox told everybody in 2023, and we were told that we didn't understand context. And the context was we care about publishing. We're switching to a software strategy. PlayStation hasn't signaled that a single time anywhere to their shareholders that they're going to start just putting their property everywhere. They have.
Dude, what do you think they're doing? Any live service game is day and date because they don't have a choice. It's just not single player AAA boomer or bangers in the Sony world that they drop, like, you know, like a Last or something. They'd say that that's not going to be day and date, but it'll be closer to getting to PC compared to what it used to be. And there are a lot of games that they would like to make exclusive. They want to at least be on the Switch too and sell in Japan too. So, like I said, they're still third party. They're not 100% first party anymore. You can't be when everything is timed. So it doesn't make you permanently first party. So what do you want to make up some new, hybrid third party, timed third party publisher with, you know what I mean? Like, bro, because at the end of the day, it's still third party.
Quite literally said the opposite. So like, it's just not an equivalency. It isn't.
It doesn't have to be.
Sorry. I will immediately concede and say, yep, they're turned into a third-party publisher when they say that. It won't be hard.
It's weird, like, that he's trying to defend a company that has been 90% successful off of third party. Other people's games that they just want to lock there, and games that are just on there. There's no equivalency to Nintendo first party in-house. Do you want me to say that Microsoft and Sony are nowhere even close to being equal to Nintendo when it comes to first party? So that first party is not the same. Yeah, obviously there's no equivalency in first party, but if you're first party, you're first party. You know what I mean? If you go third party, you go third party, no matter what degree. As long as it leaves that system, You know what I mean? Like the what he's trying to justify, and I know he's trying to find the most intellectual manner to do it, is still just not going to be justifiable because at the end of the day, dude, you just whether you come 6 months or 3 months or day one, when that time happens and you do let the game go, you have now entered a third party realm. And the only one that's left as a console that doesn't do that is Nintendo. Point blank. Accept it. Lono. It's okay, man. They've went third party. Those days are over with. There's just no more PlayStation only permanently. Like, you know, where it's on there and you would never see it anywhere else. Nah, man. It all has a time limit.
It will not be hard to be like, oh, yep, there they go. PlayStation just said they're going to do the same thing that Xbox has been doing. Because they'll tell...
Made their PlayStation Now like Game Pass? Went crossplay? Supposed to be from the ground up? What are we talking about? Party chat? Run the Call of Duty? Get the Destiny over there? Do the Halo Call of Duty stuff that they did in the 360 era? The Connect Move aspect? You know, it's interesting, the cloud aspect. Like, I don't understand how they don't do everything that they do. They copy them in a lot of ways, man. I've stated this multiple times, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that they're the least innovative. They really are. Nintendo's the most innovative. But Microsoft innovates more than Sony has. They have. Started to make Uncharted and Last of Us because they had Halo and Gears and all that. They wanted their own aspect like that, and ended up benefiting them big time. They were doing everything Microsoft was doing after the PS3, during the PS3 era. PS4 was basically a 360 HD, if you want to think about everything they were doing on there. And then charging for the online, all that. Hey, man, I'm just saying, they copy them in a lot of ways, so what are we trying to say here?
They will tell their shareholders. This is how we're going to maximize return for you shareholders. We're going to start putting our games on platforms that we formerly considered competitors. Patapon 1 and 2 replay marches out to PS5 as Sony licenses the series out. Yeah, it also looks like they're handling it very differently. It sounds like who are they licensing it out to? Bandai? I thought Bandai's name popped up.
Yeah. But it's still IPs that used to be Sony's exclusive, and now they're handing it out and making it third party. They went from first party to third party. And because they don't like Microsoft, they excluded them out. This is why people were worried about the blocking nonsense. And I can understand why, because look at the moves that they're doing here. See? But if Microsoft gets Steam, because they've gave those license to third party, you can't block it. A lot of the games you're not going to be able to block. It's only going to be games that would be only Sony published games if Sony wanted to do that. But all those other games you see coming from China, South Korea that they want to kind of put over there, those are not Sony IP owned games. They only want to do that for PlayStation. But when it goes to PC, it's not published by Sony. See what I mean? Like Black Myth Wukong is not owned by Sony. You see what I'm saying? Phantom Blade, all those games, they're going to come to Xbox through Steam if they want to play that game in the future. Just saying.
Let me click on this. How are they phrasing this? Are you noticing a pattern yet? Sony and Bandai are enjoying a very fruitful relationship with a number of Japan studios' old favorites getting licensed out. You may recall Freedom Wars Remastered releasing earlier this year. You probably already read our story about Everybody's Golf. But now Rhythm RPG Patapon is also joining the party with Patapon 1 and 2 Replay coming to PS5, PC, and Nintendo Switch on the 11th of July. This one's interesting because Sony already did a remaster of the first two Patapon games for the PS4, but they weren't the best versions. This new edition will actually include some additional quality of life features. Okay, yeah, again, if you think this is an equivalency to what Xbox has done, I don't know if I can help build a bridge to the island of dumb that you're living on.
It's not about equivalency. It's about you taking IPs that used to be exclusive to you, that was on your system this whole time, and now you're branching them out. And you skip Microsoft on purpose because you see these Japanese games. You want to get a increase of sales in Japan and all those other sorts of things. But at the end of the day, trying to justify it to be equivalent to Microsoft does not exclude Sony from being third party. They're still third party.
I can't get to you. Like, I think you're too dumb to understand what's going on. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't get to you. I can't.
That
You're
bothers
living
him.
on a really, really dumb island. I can't build a bridge to it. I don't know what to tell you. They're not equivalent at all. It's like old games getting remade. We're putting them on PS5, PC, and Switch. They're third party. They're doing.
They were doing third party before that on the PC. This is what we were talking about, and that's all Sony's games. And not only that, now you're seeing them expand it out more because this is the future now. It's not Sean Layden days. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? 360 days. Those days are gone. So you're going to keep on making more excuses as you see this happen more because the Switch 2 is going to be targeted big time. Get prepared. They're not going to be able to handle this, guys. So let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Just had to do a little bit of checking here because it's like, wait, hold on a second. You know what? We can
What
finish this out a little
Xbox
bit.
did? Nope. No, it's not equivalent even remotely. I've always said, if you think that PlayStation's going to switch to this strategy of being more like a third-party publisher, we will hear about it in crystal clear terms to the shareholders. We will know.
Shareholders.
It won't be a trailer for Patapon 1 and 2 replay.
Memberships.
Coming to Switch.
Third party.
You know what's interesting? It's not landing on Xbox.
There it is.
You know what I mean? PlayStation's not even publishing it. Oh, they're not even publishing it? Yeah, if they're not even publishing it, they've licensed it out then. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. We don't freaking care. Just don't put it on Xbox. Do you still think PlayStation's going to let their games play on an Xbox PC hybrid?
I was waiting on it. There it is. So now we can end this. I knew it. But like I said, there's way more benefits coming with Steam. So many games on there, so many games on GOG that even if Sony did do that, you have an astronomical amount of games that you're going to be available. Still going to see what happens with that, but at the end of the day, there we have it, y'all. All right, we know what this is about. Peace out, y'all.